starting with it, first of all, that business loans as a sector, first of all, as an industry, to what kind of people these kind of loans are lent to. Mainly these are small and medium-term enterprises to whom we are lending. I'm sure you all have gone through this particular detail as well, in the training module. So in this particular space, the challenge is quite it's a huge amount of challenge actually in this particular sector. Why so? Because this is an unsecured business loan product. This is not secured by, any collateral or any such stuff. So we don't take any, this is not a mortgage and all. In this, what we just have to do very, very nicely is check the repayment history of the person. So there are basically three things that we look at before lending to any merchant. So these merchants are basically small and medium-time enterprises I'm talking. What we have to see is their identification has to be very clear in the sense that the KYC and all has to be checked very properly. The second thing that we look at is assess their repayment history. That we do looking at their past loan tracks. So we usually see that these people who are going to take money from us have already taken money from other borrowers in the past, so that we can study their repayment behavior. In this, CIBIL comes to a lot of great help to us now. So we see the CIBIL scores as well. We see the repayment history from there and see as to how these particular enterprises have been behaving over the past 2 years rather. The third thing that we look at is that which kind of geography these people come from, these companies are coming from. So the kind of target segment that I'm talking about is again, these could be proprietorships, these could be self-employed guys as well, these could be private limited companies. So these are the type of people who are basically having, say, a turnover between 1 crore to 50 crore. So that's the kind of target segment we are looking at. Now in this space, if I say where are we have started around 2.5 years back in this sector, and in the 2.5 years we are already almost touching 1,000 crore loan book on the BIL space. And if I compare ourselves definitely with the market leaders such as HDFC and all, well, they have been around for very long, so obviously they are way much ahead of us. But we are basically trying to come around with not only run-of-the-mill products, which say the industry right now has been used to actually seeing in the market. We are trying to come up with very new programs as well. So we are not only looking at plain vanilla business loan products, but we are coming up with various schemes. For example, very recently we have launched a loan program based on card receivables. So wherein basically what we do is, that's basically a surrogate program in the market. Not many competitors are doing it already. Why I'm talking about that is because I'm expecting that whosoever comes on board would definitely, before joining in, be looking at, trying to figure out what the market is doing. In the sense that, the plain vanilla products, you can go to all the bank websites, all the NBFC websites and all, and you can have a look at from there what exactly they are doing. So I'm just trying to tell you what different stuff we are doing, at this point in time. So the surrogate program that I'm telling you all about, basically it is offered to those merchants, those enterprises who already have got, say, a POS machine or something at their outlets, and they are basically they're doing a lot of business through the card machines. So what we do is, instead of going ahead and taking their financial statements only and assessing them on the actual loan repayment on the regular loans, what we do is we try to assess them on the business that they are getting through the swipe machines. So on that behalf, then we have figured out a very unique way of assessing the credit worthiness, and then we give them a particular multiple of the business that they are doing on these kind of terminals. So that is just to give you a very, very brief idea as to what exactly we are doing on that particular product. Okay, then so that is one of the things that we have recently done. Then very soon we are also coming out with, on the loan RTR product for the business loan guys. Basically, in that case, we will be giving them loans on the basis of various other loans that they already have, their businesses already have. So that will also be a unique proposition that we have not launched till now. So once we do, and once I think you all are on board, you would all get to know a little more details on the same. Now, going back to what exactly, and where are we? just giving you again a little bit, flavor about where are we at this point in time. As I told you, the book that we have right now is almost around 900 crores. And what we have in terms of, the type of, if I say, now there is a distribution model, okay, here, that how do we source our business? That's very important again in the market. So we are sourcing around, say, 90% of our business through DSA mode, which is, these are agencies basically who are already working on the ground. They are the ones who are in direct touch with a lot of these small and medium enterprises, and they get us business through them. So we are getting a 90% business through these people, through these agencies, and we've got our own on the ground resources as well who are working for us. Now a majority part of that is on the roads, so basically all the sales team that we have across 18 locations that we are operating out of as of now. And we are looking at further, moving to other locations where currently we are seeing that, the competition is already present. So possibly in the next 6 to 8 months, we will be present at another 5 to 7 locations. And by doing that, I think we'll be covering mostly all the tier 1 as well as tier 2 cities across whole of India. And coming back to again, so the DSTs are the ones who are, off the roll resources that we have. And these are the people who help us actually, go into the deeper parts of, locations where probably we don't want to, use our own on the roll, resources to spend their time on. So there are various distribution models that we are using, to reach and penetrate further into the in the whole geography of you can say all the major cities, because I won't say we are trying to go into very small towns. That's not our focus, because there is a lot of potential right now which is left in tier 1 and tier 2 towns, which we are trying to get as much as possible and extract as much as possible. Okay, so that's on the distribution model and the geographical presence of our particular business. Very recently now, actually, we have started with the personal loan business as well. So till now, I was telling you all about, business loans. Personal loans is also an offshoot of the same. Currently, we are operating from the same shop for personal loans as well. So we are offering personal loans to salaried guys and to self-employed people. And this is, right now a very small portfolio, because we started only, say, a number of months back. And from 1st of April, we are looking at actually focusing on it in a very big manner. So possibly, after a year or something, we will have an equally robust PL book as well, the way we have a business loans book. If I say, on the monthly run rate, what we are doing, on the PL on a monthly basis, we are doing an average of around 80 to 90 odd crores from all these locations that we are operating out of. And PL, we are doing somewhere around, say, 5 to 10 crores, because as I said, the business is still in its nascent stage. We are trying to put around a lot of policies, a lot of, guidelines, a lot of new products, a lot of new, things which we can do in the market. So that's on the PL piece. So coming back to now, I'll give you a little flavor of the business. Now I'll just take you all through the PPT that is there, which is a simple basic training PPT. I'll just quickly take you all through it, and then post that. I think we can get on to take some more queries from you all.
Lovely.
Yeah, so here if you see, I think you would have all, seen probably some abbreviations being used all across the module. What exactly, are the type of merchants we are talking about, what kind of documentation, we are talking about, taking, so stuff like that. So this is just to give you a little flavor as to what exactly those terms mean and all. So here on the business loans piece, as you can see, so this is just a simple introduction as to what exactly it is that I've already told you about. So mainly it is the businesses who are doing, who have a turnover between 1 to 50 crores. Those are the type of enterprises that we are looking at. This is an unsecured type of loan given to partnerships, private limited companies, closely held companies. Then usually the tenure of the product is between 1 year to 3 years. And the kind of documentation we are taking is also pretty simple, and it is as per what is being taken in the market. Okay, so now actually we have Amit also here with us, who's the business head for this business loans and personal loans product. He'll just say hi to you all.
Hi everybody. Who do we have, Alfred? Where all everybody from?
We have from batch 1, we have about maybe 30% of the students, the management trainees that are part of business installment loans and PM in terms of the business.
Okay. Okay. Hi guys. I don't know if everybody can hear me, if I am clear and audible. Just wanted to welcome you guys on this session. Just wanted to welcome you for the beginning of this whole induction program, which starts much before you actually join. Very happy to hear that we will have a large batch, and we all look forward to welcoming you on board and have a good stint here. I don't want to take too much time. Shweta will run you through the presentation, but I'm eager to meet with each one of you when you are here in Mumbai for the final induction. See you guys. Shweta, take over.
All right, now it's back to Shweta, who would continue with the presentation.
Yeah, so I mean, just again going over, to very quickly over the segments. So very clearly we've mentioned here, self-employed professionals, sole proprietors, partnerships, private limited companies, doctors also. So, see, always in such kind of businesses, we've got, a particular segment of industries or a particular, segment of geographical locations where we would never lend. Such kind of things are called as, negative areas. So the geographies would be called negative locations, and the segments of the industry would be called negative industries. Now you all have to be very careful that never ever we would like to, source our business from these locations or these industries. And the reason is because the past has shown us that, such kind of industries and locations have not shown very good, very good quality of business. Either they have resulted in NPAs or, such kind of losses to the whole industry. So I'm not talking about only us, but it is mostly the whole industry that who kind of, does not want to do business from these kind of locations. Then coming to just very quickly give you a little bit of abbreviations, because I'm sure you would have come across some of these. So DBR is your debt burden ratio. CAM, I mean, in terms of the process that, you all will be following when you come on board here, you will get to know what exactly we do. Very quickly, I'll tell you right now as to what exactly, as a process we do on a daily basis in business loan sourcing. So we have these DSAs and all who source the files for us. These files are basically the loan files, and they have the RMs mapped to them. So they bring files to their RMs, and their RMs then have to, through the coordinators, sales coordinators, they have to get the files checked, and then they give it to the ops shop, which is called as a CPA here. Now the ops shop has to upload the file into the system and prepare a CAM. A CAM is basically a credit appraisal memorandum that is prepared so that all the financials of the particular company, everything is captured correctly in the way it is required, and then this correct CAM is then shared with the credit team. When the credit team does the credit appraisal looking at the CAM, they've got their various standards, various ratios and all that they have to look at. Post that, they come out with maybe some more queries and all, and then with those queries and all, they go for the personal discussion with the merchant. So there are various categories where the personal discussions are held over phone, or they are held in person depending on the size of the loan. So because it's, the loan size actually here is say from 10 lakhs to around 75 lakhs. Though very few loans that we do more than 50 lakh size. Mostly we have say an average ticket size of around 18 lakhs here. And so then the credit guy goes for the PD. During the PD, he tries to figure out how the merchant is, how his behavior is and all. And then basis that, he comes out with few more queries, asks for few more documents if needed, and then an approval is given. Once the approval is given, the salesperson goes and gets the disbursal kit signed from the merchant. Then the disbursal kit is brought back to the office, to the ops shop, and the ops shop then has to complete the disbursal process. So after the disbursal process is completed, if at all any other pendencies are there, those are cleared as well. Then the final go-ahead is given and the loan is released into the account of the merchant, into the account of the company. So whichever way it is suitable, maybe through a check or maybe through a NEFT transfer, the money is transferred into the account, and then immediately then the EMIs and all will start basically from that very next day. So that's the kind of process. Very in a very crisp manner. Actually, I tried to tell you what exactly happens. And obviously further details and all will be shared with the ones who join, the BIL team. And so coming back, to the abbreviation, I'm sure it is all there on your screen. You all would have quickly had a look at it. So I'll just move over to the next slide. As I had said, very clearly that there are three things which are very important whenever we are looking at a merchant or at a company. The first thing is identification. So from the identification perspective, his KYC has to be checked very clearly. So for the same, we look at some things like which I mentioned on the screen here. You can see photo IDs, signature proofs and all. So the basic KYC is looked at after it is confirmed. Then we go on to looking at his as a part of the KYC only his address proof. So we will look at the various address proofs the person is offering, the representative of the company is offering. So whichever one is applicable. Then we look at the business continuity, because that's again very important. We usually try to see that the key stakeholders of the company have been into the same business for a while, because vintage is very important. Because ultimately, see, we all are giving them loans, and those too unsecured loans. So it's very important not only to check the credibility of the individual who's running that business, but also how long he has been into business, so that we can take a call on him. So from that perspective, we see his vintage. We see that in the same business where he has been operating from, how long he has been operating from the same location. We also take sometimes industry references. So we will speak to people who are working with him, from the same circle. So these are the various ways of trying to figure out that everything is clean basically about the company. Then we look at their ownership proofs and all. From the income documents perspective, depending on which kind of company, usually these are the type of documents that we may take. ITR will take for 2 years, P&L, balance sheet. We'll also take an audit report if it's a company and the audit report is prepared. And then we have to assess the financials of the business. So all of this data. And the second thing that you're seeing here is the bank statement. So one is your financials and the other is your bank statements. Bank statements are important, again to see that how his repayment tracks have been. To study that, bank statements and your CIBIL becomes very important. So for the same, then when you have a look at the bank statements, you see the past 6 months, you see how many bounces this guy would have done, or what kind of how many payments he has been making from his account, how regular is his account. So such are the kind of things that you try to assess from his bank statement, and his check returns, if at all any have happened. Then you will also see, whether if at all the person has any OD limits on his account, how he has been utilizing his OD limits. Basically, these are things, which will give you an indication that somebody is, running the business in a very aggressive manner, somebody is over leveraged. So these are the kind of things which are very important to figure out at the time of credit appraisal before actually giving the approval. These are just some of the other documentations like, memorandum of understanding you take, AOA and all such stuff, just to, substantiate the normal documentation that you're taking. Then again, as I told you, it's very important that we'll give money to the ones who have got, who have taken money even earlier. So for the same, we see that, what kind of tracks he's already running. We look at his CIBIL, his commercial CIBIL if it's a company. We see that, if the company had taken loans, how they have repaid it. So all such kind of things are looked at. So that's like, checking his repayment track record through CIBIL and through such means. Mainly we see that, the CIBIL score of the main people who are running the company should always be more than 700. So this is something, which is like obviously specific to each company, each bank or an NBFC. Some people might be comfortable, some companies might be comfortable, say by, operating at around 650 also. But they are the ones that, who would be lending at a very high rate. So I'm now trying to tell you a little bit about, the rate of interest here, how that is kind of, segmented, or what kind of interest rates are prevalent in the market at this point in time for this product. So usually the industry operates between, say 16% to around 24-25%. For a very risky category, there are banks or NBFCs, who are charging around 26-27% also. But then the kind of profiles which these kind of companies would have probably will not be very good. So we are operating around, say, around an average of around 18 to 20%. That's where we are. And so we are taking calculated risk, but at the same time we are careful as to what kind of companies we are lending to. So if you see, these are some of the restricted profiles. So to these type of merchants, we would probably never be lending to, if you see. So there are politicians, film personalities, lawyers, finance companies, journalists, and all. So these are the categories we do not like to lend to. Then this ratio, I think you would have come across while going through the online module as well. So this is a debt burden ratio. This will be obviously after when you actually learn how to calculate the eligibility of a particular, company for a loan, how his financials are assessed. At that point in time, this is important to look at, very important to look at, because this ratio tells you that how leveraged the guy is, how leveraged the company is. If he takes money from you, whether he will be able to give it back to you in the specified stipulated time or not. So then along with, so what are the basic things? We are giving him money and we are taking back principal, interest, and upfront we are taking the processing fee, because we are obviously doing so many processes to be able to lend him money. So for the same, we take a processing fee of around 2%. So these are the basic things. You are giving money, you are taking back processing fee, you are taking back interest, and you are taking back principal. This is just a simple flowchart of the process which I very quickly told you all, that how exactly the thing is lent. So see, pricing strategy, basically it's very specific to how we are seeing the market conditions, and as per what internally we expect from our business, what exactly we are looking at in the coming few months, and rather say coming year. So whenever we see the market is changing, or the competition is increasing, or we see that whatever we are operating at is not what we should be doing, then we keep altering the pricing matrix as per that, depending on the size of the loan or the tenor of the loan, the type of the industry. So we keep doing that. So very recently also we have done one such exercise. So all the people will be joining the BILPs, as well as I think the other businesses, they will see that this is a very regular business practice which is undertaken. So I think from my side, I've covered most of the things which I could from a general perspective, and whatever I could all give you as an overview about. Now I think whatever queries you all have, you can ask.
Shweta, thank you. And all the participants, if you have a doubt, please click on the raise hand button which is there on your application, so that I can unmute you and you can speak to the head. Yes, it is Sunny Nathani. Please go ahead and ask your query.
Hello.
Yes, Sunny, tell me.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes,
Hello.
Sunny, we are able to hear you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Hello? Yes, please go ahead, tell me.
Hello.
I think this.
Yes, Sunny, we can hear you. Please ask your question.
Hello.
I think he is not able to hear us, Akhila.
Yes,
Akhila,
yes.
just tell him that he just needs to go ahead and ask his question without awaiting a response.
Yes, yes.
Hello. Hello.
Sharma, can you hear us? Sharma? Sharma, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Sharma, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead and ask
Ma'am,
your query. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is that you have said that the BIL is given, as you said that BIL is given to self-employed professionals, doctors and partnership firms. And in the list of restricted persons, it is being mentioned that lawyers are not given the BIL. So,
Yes.
what is the criteria that a lawyer should? What is the criteria that a lawyer should fulfill to get a BIL?
So see, actually the thing, as I said very categorically, is that basis the past experience that the industry has had, there are few categories of people and companies to whom nobody would like to lend to, looking at the kind of behavior that they have displayed over a period of time. And those behaviors have been studied. So it has been observed that it's very, very risky to lend money to a lawyer, because then, there are very high chances of them, putting cases on the company, trying to find out, some clause or the other to use basically, so that they don't have to give the money back. Which is why we recommend that we do not lend to them. But definitely, if at all there are any very, very exceptional scenarios, then we will look at, something like that, but not in a normal scenario at all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we have next participant here. Bhupender, can you hear us? Bhupender, can you hear us? Bhupender, are you there? Okay, we have a question here, Shweta.
Yeah.
So, one student, Natani, wants to know, do we offer moratorium period? And like you said, the EMI starts from the very next month. So, regarding moratorium period. So that is what his question was. So he wants an answer for that.
So actually at this point in time, these moratorium products are a little variation of the normal business loan product, and at this point in time we are not offering it. Possibly in future we might look at something like that, but not at this point in time.
Okay. I hope, Natani, your answer is, you have heard the answer. So is there anyone else who want to ask a question? Please click on the raise hand button. Bhupender, are you there? Pankaj? Pankaj, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can go ahead and ask the question.
Yes, I can hear. Yeah, good evening, ma'am. I just want to ask, like, how can we differentiate our profit? Like, we have different categories of loans which we give to the people. Is there anything how we differentiate our profit, or is it the same for all?
Can you please repeat your question?
Ma'am, I just want to ask, how can we differ loans which we give? Is it the same for all, or is it different? I mean.
So see, usually when loans are given, they are given basis the financials of that particular company. So it will be completely each one to his own. So the kind of financials one company carries and the credit appraisal that we do, there are a lot of things which go into that. It is not only the financials, it is, during the PD, a lot of subjectivity is used even there as well. We try to check the intent of the company, whether, the company wants to give back the money. We also see at that point in time what kind of leveraging the company has. Will the company be able to repay my money in future? So there are various such things. Depending on that, each company will probably be qualifying for a different amount. It will be after a proper appraisal is done of each company. So it's not a standard, you can say that you put in the numbers and exactly the same amount will come out. Obviously, there are a lot of things which are taken into perspective at the time of deciding the approval amount. I hope I have answered your question.
So like it is like that we can have. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Pankaj.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lokendra Chauhan.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yes. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, ma'am. My question is, what will be our role while collecting a business loan application? I mean, will it be just collecting their financial and their loan application form and other related documents, or will be assigned to assess their financials as well?
Okay. Sorry, I've missed your name. Would you please tell me that which department you are looking at joining, sales or credit?
Ma'am, sales.
Okay. So if you're going to join the sales department, in that case, Your job is to source the file, complete the application process, and by the credit team. So that's not, something that you have to do, but yes, you have to definitely know which kind of files will go through. Because if at all you are getting, so you have to be very thorough with the policy which is there for the product. So initially when you join in, you will be trained over a couple of months as to what kind of things are doable, what kind of things are not doable, what kind of ratios you have to look at. So basic level checks you have to do before you bring in the file into the system. Then post that, the actual appraisal would be done by the credit team.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now we have Sandeepa here. Sandeepa, can you hear us? Sandeepa, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Sandeepa. Yep.
Yeah, the thing is, business installment loans, is it given for working capital requirement? And if yes, what about the hypothecation of the work in progress stock? Like, is it included in assessing the loan?
Yes, see, I mean, these kind of loans, typically the purposes for which, BIL is given are definitely working capital. It may be given for, recurring capex as well. It may be given for any of the business needs. So when the working capital is assessed, all the things are looked at very clearly. The stocks in progress, everything will be looked at. All the statements will be checked.
Yeah, but as it is unsecured, like, is it considered like, to be like being capital first as a lender? Do they possess any line on the working capital in stock, like in case the person defaults?
Sorry, your question. Can you just repeat yourself, because the voice is getting disconnected very badly actually.
Okay. The thing is, being capital first being a lender, do you take the hypothecation of the stocks? Do you write any line on that in case of BIL?
No, so we don't do any hypothecation of the stock. Maximum what we will do is we'll take a guarantee for the loan, but never we will be doing hypothecation and all.
Okay, so it's taken into consideration just for the assessment of the eligibility.
Yes. But then the statements are checked very, very properly, so they can't be managed statements basically. We check that the statements are correct. So we have an internal FCU team as well. All the statements which are brought in, they're sampled. Some of them are sampled, and it's checked whether the credibility of the statement is there or not. And they have to be CSC tested, most of these statements.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, Shweta, I think that's it. There are no more participants who wants to ask a query. So thank you. We'll start off with the second session. I'll be joining you soon.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your time. And we look forward to having you all on board as soon as possible. And then probably we'll have more discussions on the product that we have.
Just before we close, we have a participant here, Shweta, who wants to ask a question. Deepika?
Yeah, I'm actually from the Capital First team itself.
Okay.
And I just want to say a couple of words to the management trainees who are on the call. We would be very happy if you write back to us, sharing your feedback on your experience with it. If you have any parts that you think of module that you think you need more clarification, etc., Shweta can share her email ID, and any queries related to the BIL product can be referred to her. Otherwise, in general, if you have any queries regarding the program or timelines, etc., the right person to write for that would be Alfred. So Alfred is also on the call and can share his email ID. So you need to be clear, product-specific calls will happen, and if you have any questions regarding the product, you will write to the product manager. However, if you have any generic queries regarding the program, you can write either to Alfred or you can write to me. And my email ID is as follows. It's deepika.mahajan@capfirst.com. Let me repeat that. It's deepika.mahajan@capfirst.com. Most of you have seen me at campus already. I also need you to know that we will be conducting an assessment remember I told you during the training that there would be an assessment. That assessment is scheduled on the probably on the 14th. Am I right, Alfred?
Yep, that's correct.
14th of March, and it's going to be an hour's assessment. It will start at 6 p.m. in the evening, and the link will be operational only for that duration. So I need you to plan your calendar accordingly. You must keep yourself available at 6 p.m. on 14th of March, and just ensure that you have good internet access. It's going to be a multiple choice question kind of format, and it should be easy for you to take that. And also what I told you earlier, you need to score at least 70%. If you don't, you go back to the bench and take the test again. Any questions regarding the general format or any generic queries? I am here to take it today.
Yes, Deepika, thank you. But there is no other questions from the participants. And just a second, Deepika, we have a participant here, Ragha Kirtana. Can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead and ask the question. Yeah.
Ma'am, we received a mail that our exam would be conducted on 18th of March, not 14th. So, what is the exact date?
Okay, sorry, then it must be 18th. My mistake. Whatever you got on email is the right one.
Okay.
So what you said is right. I'm sorry about the incorrect date that I shared earlier. So it's 18th of March. You received an email. Did it say 6 p.m.? Did it say 6 p.m.? What's the time given? Do you remember? Okay, no problem. Well, you'll get that by email. Any other questions? Anybody else has anything they want to ask? Please feel free to do so.
Okay, I think that's it, Deepika.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, and all the participants, thank you. Now you can log out, and all the other communication we'll be sending through mail, and we'll also share a feedback form with you guys. So kindly revert to that feedback form. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think just before I think everyone logs off, we'll just give you our email IDs.
Yeah, Shweta, give yours, yeah.
So please note down Shweta, shweta.guru, G-U-R-U, @capfirst.com. That's my email ID. Now Alfred will also give you his email ID.
My email ID is Alfred, A-F-R-E, .MENDS at capfirst.com. That's Alfred.Mendes at capfirst.com.
I think I'm going to control over.
So we have everyone logging off. Thank you.